The Tech Disruptors podcast is brought to you by the Average Dad Tech Store. Get all of your latest and greatest tech at averagedadofficial.com.
My left video just went viral.
I'ma strike back and take your whole empire. Spontaneous combustion. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on fire. I'm on.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Disruptors podcast. My name is Darren and my lovely co-host is named...
My name is Jason.
And Devin, who may or may not be able to hear us.
Hey guys, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oh, there we go. Okay,
I'm in clutch right there.
All right.
All right, we were having a few issues there. It's actually, I don't know what's going on with Restream. Restream's been doing us dirty lately with our guests and our co-hosts, but that's okay. That's just part of the world we live in.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason that Devin's audio wasn't working is because he was actually using Skype.
Right.
I don't know if you heard, Skype is actually going to the wayside. So Devin was Skyping in. Is that right, Devin?
Yeah, it's weird. It still works on my Windows phone, but it's as soon as I plug it up.
You know what's
on
interesting
my
about
computer.
that? Skype is dead, but hasn't it been dead for a while? Don't we have Microsoft Teams now? I didn't know people
Who
even use
uses
Skype
Microsoft Teams though?
the whole state of Ohio does.
Okay.
According to along the lines of this whole conversation, somebody mentioned that Microsoft not only fumbled Teams and Skype, but they also fumbled Link. And I was like, oh my gosh, Link is a name.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
What Link? Refresh my memory.
It's LYNC. Was another.
Oh yeah. Now you say it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow, that's like God. You like flashback to my memory there. Like I unlocked a memory.
Teams, in my experience, for personal use, no. For business, it's what it's used for. Like I work in a government agency, so we use Teams for a lot of that stuff.
I hate Teams.
I don't think it's bad. It don't bother me at all.
It's better than Slack.
Slack, yeah.
It's better than Skype.
You know what bothers me? So at my workplace, they will, because it's all on a corporate server and, they all run the interface and the Windows and everything. They choose to automatically launch Teams every time you turn the computer on.
Same with us.
And it's such a resource hog. It takes so long to launch your fucking PC when that thing's activated to go.
Interesting. Like I got this TV, Telly. I think I talked about it before. The company gives you a free TV, but it has ads. So it's a 55-inch TV and it's got a ticker at the bottom that has like weather, news, ads. It's got a sound bar that faces at you, as well as a camera built in.
Right.
But guess what service they use? The only service you can use to call people with it.
Skype?
It's not Skype. It's not Teams. It's Zoom.
Zoom. Oh.
Do people use Zoom for personal use? I've only used Meet.
Yeah. People do use Zoom. That's like, I know that sounds crazy when you've got like Google Meet as an option, but apparently that's a thing.
Okay.
Sorry, Devin, what were you going to say there?
I was just going to say the only reason I haven't used Zoom personally is because they have like that 40-minute max and you have to like recall people back.
Oh, yeah, for the free account. Yeah.
I thought that was only during like COVID because things were overused, but maybe that hasn't changed. I don't know.
That's got to be one of the only like calling apps that found fame during one of the worst moments in the world's history.
Right.
It just shot to number one.
FaceTime's always been popular, and I would assume Meet's pretty well known too, but yeah.
But not everybody uses Meet. Not everybody uses FaceTime. Like it's like there's no one. So the one universal platform that was back in the day was Skype, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I remember like when I first moved to Canada and I was calling back home to Australia, like we started on Skype. That's how it begun. This was before, FaceTime was a real thing. We didn't have Google Meet. And people weren't really using a lot of Android phones back in those days either. So that really wasn't an option. But yes, if you're wondering what we're talking about, the long OG of video calling, Skype, is officially dead.
So pour one out for your... No.
Too soon.
Yeah, pour. Well, I mean, Microsoft likes to kill a lot of things. The Surface Duo, Skype.
Yeah, but this has been Skype. I swear, there's no way this people are still using Skype to this day. They had this. It has to be dead already. I didn't know people even had Skype anymore, except for Windows phones.
So, Jason, here is a crazy number because I was when I was doing the research for the article today. I wanted to know how many people used Skype last year. I'm going to give you one guess, both of you, and you're not allowed to quickly Google it.
How many people are using Skype?
How many people are using Skype in 2024?
100,000. I don't know.
Okay, and Devin?
Yeah, I mean, I like worldwide or in the U.S. or like
worldwide. Worldwide.
Oh, that's different because then. I'm gonna stick with 100,000. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think I've got any better guesses, but it's probably less just in the U.S.
2024, Skype had an estimated 2.27 billion users.
Now, hold on.
20 million daily users.
Well, I was going to say this is forced installed. Yeah,
or like it's just auto launches with their computer still.
No.
Whose computer uses Skype?
Hang on. So basically, it was the age group was between 18 and 29 was their most active users. And believe it or not, it's used a lot by school administrators to communicate with coworkers and students. So it actually was an actively used service in 2024, especially in the education sector and amongst teens, which I find hilarious to me.
Yeah, because most teens in the U.S. are using Skype on their iPhone. Right.
So here is my theory to piggyback off what Devin said. I wonder if they were using it at school as a means to communicate with each other without other people knowing.
Yeah, and other countries might have older computers. They can't afford to upgrade them, so they use Skype. That could be a big detriment to some of these countries. And I mean, if that's, but I don't know. I imagine Teams isn't much of a change. Maybe Skype is familiarity. I don't know.
But I mean, listen, there were 2.27 billion users on the platform. Like, I don't know. Again, this might just be auto launching with their PC, which again, would kind of make sense.
We should have pre-recorded this live stream through Skype.
We should have. That would have been amazing. Could you imagine?
Awesome. 480p.
480p video. You have to invite.
I actually. Some of my fondest memories of using Skype was actually with my family when we all got Xboxes with Kinect on it.
Oh,
you could Skype on your TV with the Kinect.
Right.
So like,
now
I think
hang
we
on a
should
second.
do that.
Didn't they have like a webcam attachment they were selling at one point that came with TVs to allow you to Skype early on? Forgive me if I got that wrong, but I thought there might have been something like that.
There was.
In existence.
But I don't know if it was Skype still. I think Microsoft had a dedicated like webcam you could attach to your TV. Went through HDMI port, but I don't remember what it was. I don't know if it was Skype though. It might have been Teams already.
Maybe I got that wrong. It's probably Teams. Fucking Teams.
Oh, I'm thinking of the Facebook one.
Oh, the portal.
The portal and the portal for the TV. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, that was dead on the right.
No, because I mean, look, the reality is it is one of the first. Probably without Skype, we wouldn't have your FaceTimes and your meets. They started it, and unfortunately, we are all going to miss the Skype jingle. The calling jingle. Do you remember what it sounded like, Jason? Jason's going to hum it for us live.
No, I'm not going to hum it for you. No.
But yes, Skype has unfortunately met its demise in the world of video calling.
Speaking of computers, Devin, this is kind of something you might have heard of this week. I'm going to share this real quick. Yeah. So there's a company out there that picked up the pieces from Google when they were trying to make Project Aria, the modular cell phone. Oh. This company called Framework, and you know Framework, right, Devin? They make the modular laptops.
Laptops, yeah.
Well, they recently refreshed their line of products, and now they have a desktop. So you're thinking, who cares? It's desktop. And honestly, looking at this, there isn't much modularity with this except for these little squares on the front. You can 3D print logos, and I think there's some ports.
I think it looks amazing.
Well, and it's real small footprint.
Yeah.
It's got modular like ports on the bottom, but the big killer right here is the AMD Strix Halo compute. This thing, I think it's the 395, is got the power of a gaming PC. I think it runs around a 460 RTX 460 to 470, depending. This thing right here is amazing. What's funny about this thing? Now they also released a 13-inch or 12-inch touchscreen laptop as well.
Yep.
But I was looking at this and I went to their website and it was down for like 3 days straight after this announcement.
Oh, wow.
And now they're on like Q4 pre-orders, like the whole, and it's starting at $1,500 for the maxed out processor. And I'm thinking, I'm going to wait because this processor is amazing, but I don't know if it's $1,500 amazing because you can build a hell of a computer for $1,500.
Yeah, not in a desktop computer.
But here's the thing: this new chip is so new that a lot of the laptops aren't out yet because they have to re-dye and retool all the workings to build it. So I think Asus has that tablet, the 13 ROG 13 or something. It's like a tablet, but it has this processor in it. And then that's about all there is right now. So I almost pre-ordered it, but when I saw the price, I'm like, the RAM is not upgradable. It's soldered on. Yeah. And there was a reason for that. So they said this because something about the channel, the communication, it's probably BS, but
it really is.
Right. But you can't really upgrade this,
especially for a company that's making
modular
systems.
So I'm really excited for this because I love this chipset and I really want to see it in a small form factor. Because if you think about it, the Steam Deck is a popular handheld. Years ago, they made the Steam PCs that didn't take off, but the processors weren't there yet. I think SteamOS has matured enough, and these processors could make it a reality for TV boxes and stuff like that. So if you buy a mini PC running this, you could hook it to your TV and play AAA games at medium to high settings, and you wouldn't know. But I just thought it was interesting because Framework, this has been huge online. I just didn't know it was that expensive. It was around $1,000, maybe, but $1,500. I mean, that's starting. That includes. I don't think that includes any storage. There's no storage of that either.
I feel like we're seeing a bit of an emergence of like this bespoke tech shit, where it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like where it's like, that's not a good PC. Like it's not going to be good for anybody that has to do anything on there, right?
What do you mean?
Like, I mean, it's not a high-end PC. They're not
actually. They're saying you can do AI. You can do.
Really?
It's the APU is that good. They're talking about they're touting it for video content. I'm not saying it's gonna be the best.
Yeah.
Like I said, if it was $1,000, came with storage
for the price, that's what I'm
64 gigabytes of RAM. I don't think it'd be a bad deal.
I think that's where it shines is in a tablet form when you can take that chip and do as much as it can do. And you put that in something super small like a tablet. But for me, I see that I'm like, it's a beefy tablet, but it's a desktop. I can't do the tablet things with it, right?
Right. I just think Steam, if they bring back the Steam boxes again with this chip.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to take off. I'd be interested because I don't like to play. I mean, yes, tablets are fun, but like my family wants to play or wants to watch or play more advanced games. I think that's where it is.
I can't wait for that chip to show up in an Android TV box for $99.
It'll never do that. Don't you notice something about Android TV boxes? They always have like the MediaTek or some like
not the
Amlogic.
The video one, honestly, the NVIDIA Android box that I have, touch wood, is a fucking rock star. I've had that thing for 5 years.
But that chipset's from like prior to the Switch, and it's based. The Switch is based on that, and it's still old. I'm just saying, like, you don't see. Even those retro gaming handhelds that I have, they all run like a weird, very minimum run Snapdragon or anything, probably because of price.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, they're using, again, it's probably bargain bin kind of, what did the companies not use? We'll take that one and throw it in a handheld. But
I just thought Devin would be, I mean, you've heard of this chip, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The APU is, I'm excited.
It's awesome. Yeah.
The more I can play with less space, it blows my mind. I mean, that's just the world we live in, though, I guess.
I think the really interesting thing here is I feel like we're at this crazy crossroad, at least for gaming, right? When you talk about anything else, but gaming specifically, we've made this massive jump from physical to digital. And now we're at this crossroad of digital versus streaming. And if streaming takes off and takes over the way that digital did, it's not going to matter. All you're going to need is a screen and an internet connection.
Yeah,
right?
You're right.
So at some point in time, like this could be the future, is that this is going to be just insanely more power than anybody as far as gaming
True.
needs.
Yeah,
right?
needs. Yeah, fair.
Interesting. I didn't think about Stadia kind of died, but Xbox and PlayStation seem to be doing really well.
Mhm.
Nvidia, does they still have their program?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
like I
the
think
GeForce
you're right.
now is actually
I
I
beta
don't
testing
use
that.
it.
I
don't-
beta tested it on the box you have, Darren, the original
Yeah,
Nvidia Shield.
yeah.
Like I played Tomb Raider.
yeah.
I thought that thing, it stuttered so bad on Wi-Fi when it first started. It was terrible, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm playing a AAA game without any computer. It was crazy to me. Yeah.
But I mean, and I think that's what we might see a lot more this year, is like a lot more of these like gaming consoles that allow you to do that kind of stuff, right?
Mhm.
And that's what I'm saying. I jokingly said you're going to see that chip in.
Well,
like,
I disagree. I'm going to be the old man in the chat. I want physical PCs that can run games on device. I don't want this. No, I don't mind
Oh
streaming.
man.
Yes. All right. Now, I want to talk a little bit about Uber for a second. Now, Devin and Jason, I'm assuming you've used an Uber at least once in your life.
Mhm.
Now, Uber is convenient, right? You use the app, you request a vehicle, it shows up to your house, picks you up, takes you where you want to go. If you've used Uber Eats, it's the same deal. Just
What
the
if you
other way
use
around.
Uber highly inebriated?
Well, it's true. Now, I want to talk to
That
you
sounds like
guys.
a user error.
That's a user.
I'm
error.
not saying, I'm not speaking from myself. I'm just saying in general, people do use it as a taxi, right?
Did I ever tell you about my one of my first times using Uber as an experience? I'd gone out for drinks with a buddy of mine. It was actually my brother-in-law, and
By
we were
drinking,
out.
he means water and milk. But go ahead.
Yes, but it was about 12:31 a.m. in the morning, so we requested an Uber because we'd been drinking. We didn't want to drive, and this guy shows up in a Honda Civic.
God.
Just pulls up in front of us. Like this was before, like we had that fear of like getting in the car that's not the Uber.
Oh, yeah.
So we got in this guy's. He pulls up. We open his doors. We get in this guy's car, and we tell him where we want to go, and he starts driving. And he's driving. It's about a 20-minute drive. It's not far, but he starts driving. Not really saying a hell of a lot. We kind of just driving. We're finding our way there. We end up eventually getting home, but we both get out of the car, and we realize that A, this wasn't our Uber driver. B, he drove the entire time without any lights on in the middle of the night.
Okay. How'd you get home?
He just took us.
But how did you know where you lived?
Oh, because he's like, when we got in the car, I think
He was an Uber driver, just not your Uber driver.
No, I don't even know, because like when we got in the car, I think my drunkenness.
get paid.
Went, oh
You
yeah,
didn't-
man. Can you take me to like this address? And so me and my brother-in-law just ended up back at home. And when I got like the next day when I woke up, I was like, let me just check the app to see if that was the car that was supposed to take us. And it definitely was not the car that was supposed to take us. It was
What?
just a random dude driving his car that we managed to get into.
I just like Uber and Lyft. Like I go back and forth depending who has a better deal at the time.
Yes.
And the people you get in the car with, like some people are like real quiet and like real kind of strange. And I remember getting in the car, we had a few drinks. We weren't drunk by any means, but we got this girl picked us up. She had like LED lights and she had like rap music playing. It was awesome. Like we had a ball in that ride. But then you have the other people who are like, hey, please don't eat food in my car. Like there's wipes in the back of the seat, but whatever.
Nice. Now, the reason I bring up Uber is because they've launched an Uber for guns, Uber for protection, Uber for security purpose.
So I can call like a big black SUV and it's like, oh, I'm really important. I need to be escorted out of here.
Basically, so they've got this brand new app, which is just on. It's not actually an Uber app, but it is an app called Protector, and they let you hire armed bodyguards to accompany you wherever you need to go.
Darren, when we get invited to CES,
Yeah.
we're using this. We're going to get out with briefcases that going to obviously have our podcast stuff in it, but we're going to look really important.
Now, so I 100%, I agree with you. I actually just want to try it, just so I can show up at some event and be like, who's that guy? Like he's got like 8
your kid's baseball game.
Yeah, my son's baseball game. Perfect. But anyway, so there's someone actually posted. I guess they requested this service and they created a little TikTok video about it.
Oh my
I'm just gonna
God!
hit play here really quickly. Oh, if it'll let me, hang on.
Oh, it may not.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way shorty? What you want, shorty? What
So I don't know if you caught that really quickly there, but this lady ordered the Uber Protector app just to have her guys go in and get her a smoothie from where she was. So in this little video here, two guys, black and white suits, red ties, show up just because they can. Hey, Joe and Sam.
Hey, what's up?
Joe and Sam just randomly joined us.
Yeah, no, we got done with our show, and I always hate because
stuck
we
in.
seem to go long, and so we always miss more than half the show. So,
Well, I thought about introducing you guys, but I just like, yeah, let's throw them in. and see
God,
what
why
happens.
introduce us? Are you serious?
They're like they're veterans right now.
We're just sliding in your
Right.
DMs. We're just sliding
There
in
you
your
go.
DMs.
So sliding in, yeah.
Right, yeah. So, and Jason, congratulations, my man. I know you.
Yes.
Yeah. So I know you covered that on the show.
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't yet. I'll save it
Oh,
to the
okay.
end. You ruined the surprise.
Well, you know.
Surprise,
Hey,
yeah,
congrats anyway.
surprise.
Well, never mind. Then never mind. No congratulations for you. Yeah, who cares?
Just to warn you guys, Sam's dropping F-bombs today.
I'm
Like
not
there's
dropping
no
that
tomorrow.
bombs here. That was on our
Nothing new
show.
here.
That's our show.
That's
not
fair.
here. I don't want to. I don't
Absolutely.
want to disrupt Darren's flow and Jason.
It's PG. It's PG rated. PG rated.
And
Well, we're
PG.
just talking about
seeing it, Dev.
the Protector Uber app.
Ah,
So you
Oh,
can
I saw
hire
the
your
video
own-
with the Men in Black or whatever.
Yeah.
that's weird.
So
First of all,
basically,
What was
yeah,
that
go ahead,
smoothie?
Sam.
Was
Yeah.
it like putting green? What was in that? That's like gross. I'm like, dude, it's
matcha. Is that matcha?
It's a matcha. It's a matcha for
It
sure.
has to be
Oh,
matcha. That's all the
man,
kids are
that-
having nowadays.
That's okay if you want to have Men in Black delivered to you. Okay, that's cool.
So this app is available in Los Angeles and New York City, which kind of makes sense, right? And a lot of celebrities and people that are of importance live in those areas. But you get a Secret Service like detail for, I'm assuming, whatever predetermined amount of time you want. And you can enjoy the security like this here. Let's just
Oh my
Go,
God.
Kylie, go.
So I see this is where I would
Oh,
use it.
that's-
This is exactly how I would use it to go to the airport.
No,
So I want
your kid's
someone to
baseball
walk
game.
you out. Yeah, kids' baseball game I think would be very
Like
funny.
I'm gonna go to my daughter's softball game. Well, I don't have it in my area, but if I
But
did,
look,
I would.
It's like you just got these guys in suits. Like look at this. Like they're carrying a suitcase through the airport.
The neighbors are like, "What's going on out there?"
Yeah, can you imagine? Like you're gonna flex on all your neighbors. You're gonna be like, "Yep, this is my life
Yeah.
now. You're welcome."
I just want to know who this is for. Is this for like in-betweener celebrities that like can't afford their own like
No,
I
full-time
don't
detail?
know.
Or, like, is
I
this
don't
really
know.
just
Is
for
it?
people messing around and like I just want some security guards or what?
Well, I wish I had an answer for you. I mean, I guess anybody that needs it, like
Sam's the first to
No.
use it. I could see
sad.
Sam.
Oh,
doing
I've
this.
already had this before, but
Oh.
that's okay. Yeah.
He's ahead of the game.
Yeah, no, now my question is one, are they really there to? Is it just the appearance of a detail, right? Or if
Yeah.
something goes really sideways, are they actually going to? You know what I mean? Let's say. Now I don't know why they would, because I mean, unless somebody knows you, but let's say you're going through the airport and somebody tries to intercept your approach to the terminal. Are these guys actually going to do something, or is it like, hey, we're just supposed to look like we have weapons and we're not going to actually defend you? That's an extra module that you got to pay for. They actually
Like
is
security
it
guards
the
in the
image
mall.
Of a right.
Well, there are
Is it-
add-ons.
Is it an image of a detail, or
There
is it
is an
an
add-on.
actual detail that they actually will get? Stupid
I'm
if you
assuming
get
they're like
attacked?
security guards. I'm assuming they're like
Okay.
more security guards. That
But
do
there
this
is
on
an
the
add-on, Darren, that you can actually have paparazzi pop out wherever you're at and act like they're taking pictures of you as well.
Oh, fuck off. No.
I'm just kidding.
That's a
Darren's
good
like, I'm
idea.
doing
though.
this
God,
That's a
tomorrow.
great idea.
I don't know. I
That's
don't know
a
if that's
great
not a
idea.
thing. It absolutely should be a thing.
It
It's
should
a
be a
package
thing.
deal.
That sounds like
See,
a
I reckon
fucking
that's a
app
separate
right
app in
there.
itself. Yeah,
Me and
like a
Darren are to
brand new
reserve
app.
this package when we go to when we do our first show in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And then you'll have a couple of people who actually show up with phones. They'll actually take a video of it. So like it's a whole
Yeah.
like a actual because that never happens on the TikToks, right? All that content is totally organic. Those videos are never set up ever
None
at
of,
all.
none of it staged. None of
No,
it staged
it's
at all.
all-
The groupie
Yeah,
package
right.
is too much. The groupie package is a little too much. When they have extras, that I couldn't afford that. But the paparazzi package isn't too bad.
We all know the truth. When Darren went on that cruise with OnePlus, he got this. Just so he looked like a really big creator. He was like, look at me.
Yeah. That's right.
Everyone was looking at him like, what?
Look
Who's this
at
guy?
me.
I told you. So I don't know if I told you that story. Like they gave us an Uber credit. So like you had $200.
Nice.
Holy crap.
Went on this.
Okay.
And he just blew it all on that.
Well, no. So on my foot, when I got from the airport, I just booked a regular Uber, but I had $130 or $40 left when I left. So I ordered the most expensive Uber you could possibly get. This dude in this big GMC truck, blacked out windows, shows up, and I'm the only person who gets in the car. This thing was enormous, and I took that all the way back to the airport. Just because I had to get burned through the credits, right? So
baller. That's baller.
But yeah. Anyway,
Why
it's actually not a bad idea because if you think about it, there's no one doing this. And I mean, I make jokes about paparazzi, but I could see people being that vain that they were like, "Hey,
Absolutely.
I'm not important enough, but I want to be. So this is how I get my." You know, you got someone like Sam said, you get someone recording this, you post it on TikTok, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god."
Yeah.
I don't know.
My question is, who is doing the detail? Like, seriously, who are these guys?
Yeah, let me see if I can find out. I'm curious.
Like,
about that.
are they actually former military? Are they former law enforcement? Or is it Paul Blart Mall Cop? I mean, who is it? Right?
I actually signed up. I got a gun in the back of my truck. Like, let's go.
Devin's like, I got a pistol. Let's do this, man. I'll just show up, right?
Yeah, as soon as Devin hears a gunshot, he's like, "I'm out of here." Peace.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sam, to answer your question, they are veteran and former law enforcement private security personnel.
Okay.
And they are armed.
Okay, so
With a squirt gun.
that's hey Jason,
No,
that's
like-
me and you, man. Let's do
Yeah,
it.
let's
Because
do
we're
it.
Legit,
former
like-
LEOs.
There's some money right there.
I still just
Sorry.
don't understand who it's for. I don't know. That's what I keep getting hung up.
Devin, it's for people like me who want to feel important. No, I'm
But
kidding.
again, if you have enough money, how what's the cost of something like this?
I don't know.
Let's find out. I'll find out
That's
here
what
right
I
now.
think it really comes down to.
If
Like,
you
Yeah, we
want
need
a
to-
private. I'm assuming a private security guard, even one bodyguard who's
Right.
got
Okay.
any kind of law
so-
enforcement or military training has got to be at least 100,000 or more a year.
is this like
Okay, so
if this
here
is
we go.
I can see this might be valuable if it's a little bit more than my cost of my Uber. Like
Oh, it's
like
a lot more.
$100
So-
to ride out there somewhere, like
Okay.
wherever.
What's there?
So-
Let's see.
Let's see. So there is an annual membership fee. So if you're going to use this long term,
course,
it's $129 for the year
That's not bad.
and $200 per hour per bodyguard. And you need to minimum booking is 5 hours. So you're spending $1,000 at a time.
You know what?
when you use this service.
Bachelor party.
Question.
A
Question.
bachelor party.
This is where I'm going as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can you get a midget?
What?
Are you doing the protection or what else
No,
are you doing
he's
with the
serious.
midget? Like I don't
Well,
know, and it's little people now. Nobody uses
just to
that
be
term.
different.
What's happening
Just to
right
be-
now?
Oh my
Just
God,
because
can
we're
you
looking at who
imagine?
it's going to cater for. You said
Five
about
of them.
bachelor parties.
5 of them. Oh,
Five
no.
of them just following you around the whole day holding a shotgun. I would love to see that.
Joe, the way you said that, your face was like locked tight, like not laughing at all. It's so
He's like, I'm serious. Like,
'Cause
what
I'm
can
serious.
you get a little person? Just saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Listen,
boy.
I guess there's something for everyone out there, right? I mean, I don't know. For me, that's a bit out of my my price range. But
Yeah.
what do you mean? Tech
Oh, I mean-
disruptors, we get all the cash.
Listen, we're being protected right now. They're just sitting outside the door right now. So like,
But it is
Not
probably
my door.
less expensive than hiring a full detail, like having somebody, on retainer.
is
that
it
you can
cheaper
call all
or is
the
it more
time.
expensive?
Oh, there's no way you could get 5 people to do on a security detail for $1,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
There's
exactly,
not a
right?
chance
Yeah.
in hell that costs that much. It's
I know it
way
sounds
more
bad,
expensive.
but this would be awesome for a bachelor party. It really would.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Keep everybody
think it would
safe.
I don't. I think
Jason
it's, I
just
don't.
wants them to
I
strip.
really don't think it's for actual protection. I think it's just the flex of having a detail follow you around. I don't think it's because these people really think they need a detail for real protection. I think
I
it's
can
just a
also
flex.
see this for being some of those like niche celebrities, right? You think about
100%.
different people, like obviously, Taylor Swift has her own detail protection 24/7, right? Or whatever. It's not
Yeah.
for her. This is for that person that's like big in the tech space, right? Like think about somebody like MKBHD, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Depending on where he goes,
True.
depending on what convention he goes to, depending on like
Yeah, he might need
could
it.
be swarmed by thousands of people.
Yeah.
But if he goes to that random, restaurant over here, he's also not going to be recognized by, 99% of the people in that restaurant.
You're right.
So-
You're
wait a
right. So
second.
it's like a half celebrity, like
Yeah.
even smaller than him. Like
oh yeah.
I'm just saying, like it doesn't take a bunch of budget. If you're going to an event like CES, you have somebody for a couple hours. You pay $1,000.
Yeah.
That's not a bad deal, actually.
Well, and like I
doesn't,
said, I think it's venue specific, right? If it's somebody,
Yeah.
if he's going out to a place, nobody knows who he is.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, nobody cares. But if he's going to CES, but I mean, my question is, has he ever been in a situation where he's been at one of these major shows and he's actually had what he would consider to be a serious threat? I mean,
yeah, really.
I mean,
Apple pays for it.
It's just
You
it's
like
insurance,
Apple too
right?
much.
I guess.
I would assume. I'm going to assume Apple pays for his security. I'm just going to throw that out there. Yeah, that's a dig. I know it is. I don't care.
Maybe.
Anyway, mate, for sure, 100%. Can we talk? Probably what's on everybody's lips today. The camera phone to buy, perhaps this year, if you're really into photography. The Xiaomi 15 Ultra is here, and it is a beast of a phone. So the launch event was earlier this morning. Now, for everybody that's in North America, you probably slept and went, this is
No, it was at 7-ish o'clock. I watched it.
7 a.m. on a Sunday? Crazy.
Okay,
I mean,
I
I was up. I just didn't watch
I've
it.
been up since like 3 o'clock in the morning. So
All right, yeah. Sorry. For those of you who don't know, Jason's wife did, in fact, have her third child this week.
yes,
What's the name? Sorry, again, Luca?
Luca. Yeah,
Luca, that's correct.
Xiaomi.
So-
His name's Xiaomi.
Yeah, his middle name Xiaomi, ironically.
Yeah. I don't think that would
So-
fly very well.
I think if
Should
you
have called
did
him Leica.
Look,
Yeah.
if Xiaomi wants to give me a phone for free, hey,
middle name,
no, I'm just
lock
kidding.
in. So yes, you may remember us talking about it last week. Jason's wife was ready to pop last Sunday.
Yes.
And when did it happen? Thursday, Jason?
Thursday the 27th. Yep.
Thursday. Okay.
She got up at 2:30 in the morning. I'm like, what's going on? Wonder what's
Yes.
early.
It's time to
Oh,
go.
and it's time to go. Let's go.
And everything went really well. Everyone's healthy, and that's the main thing. And
Yep.
I'll be honest with you, if you guys have ever had kids before, what the wife or mother goes through, tons of respect. Tons
Yeah.
of respect. So,
Big time.
Jason's trying to live out his dream of the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was pregnant. What's that movie? What's that movie title? Damn it!
I
I
thought you were going to say Brady Bunch.
No, I don't know if you remember that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he has a baby.
Isn't it Mr. Mom or
Oh, I don't.
Mr. Mom had Michael Keaton and Terry
Keaton.
Garr. That's old.
What I was gonna say is Jason just wishes he could do the same. He wants to have that experience. That was.
I
what
do
was
not
going
want to
on.
have that experience. I've watched it 3
Junior.
times now, and I'm good.
Junior. Thank
that's
you.
it.
Thank
I
you.
was looking it up. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe. Sorry, I was drawing a blank. Usually, I'm pretty good with movie titles, but that one is
No,
kind of an
interesting enough,
abstract one.
every picture I've taken of my kid that I've actually shared has only been with the X200 Pro because honestly, the Samsung hasn't done it.
No.
Okay,
We'll come
interesting.
The
back.
OnePlus,
We'll
OnePlus
come
didn't
back
do
to
very well
that.
either. Yeah, we'll get back.
Yeah.
To that.
So, okay, really quickly, Xiaomi 15 Ultra, absolute monster of a phone. So, Snapdragon 8 Elite chip, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 6,000 milliamp. No, it doesn't have a 6,000 milliamp battery. That's only the Chinese.
In China. Yeah, China only.
Yes,
Of course.
sorry. Massive AMOLED display, all of that fun stuff. But the big thing here is the camera. So 50 megapixel main, 200 megapixel super high res telephoto. That's one of them. And then there's another telephoto at 3 times. And
So
then
like
also-
Samsung does, right?
So yeah, like kind of
Yeah.
like what Samsung done, like a massive 1-inch sensor as the main, which is very impressive. I think this is the only phone in 2025 to have a 1-inch sensor. Even Vivo dropped it down.
I think
on the
you're right.
X200 Pro.
Yeah.
So no other, as far as I know, no other smartphone has that massive 1-inch sensor, and it's the same sensor from last year. So it's not it's not new, but I guess some of the Snapdragon 8 Elite processing is going to help with
Yeah,
quality
definitely.
enhancements there. And it comes with that amazing fucking camera grip, which is a must-have.
Doesn't come with, but it's an option.
Well, no, but you can optionally to get it. Yeah,
And they made
It's
it much
beautiful
better.
as well.
Yeah, it's it's red. It's a bigger battery, better buttons, more tactile feel. I mean,
Now,
I
we
had the
should
14
say-
Ultra and I loved it.
We should say
Beautifully
last week we had
implemented.
Mishal on. Remember, if you remember, Mishal wasn't allowed to reveal what phone he was using. If you watched last week's podcast,
Yes.
he was in fact using the 15 Ultra, and I think they've had it for a couple of weeks now. Is this a import and buy, Joe? Is this the one, buddy?
I'll be tempted, definitely, but I need to have that camera kit with it. Definitely, that camera kit looks beautiful with the 2-stage shutter that you screw in.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really well done. Really well done.
Sam, I know you're not big on importing. We'll skip it and come back to Sam. Devin, if you wanted to import a phone this year, is this the one you should be importing?
This is pretty awesome. Honestly, I don't know why more. I just had this conversation on Twitter not long ago. I don't know why there are not more companies creating camera grips like this.
Yeah,
100%.
Every company focusing so heavily on cameras, like
yeah, why not?
Well, I think Apple has a lot of companies that build them for them, but they don't actually build one themselves.
Themselves, yeah.
Have you ever seen an iPhone user use this?
No.
No.
But they probably could. I mean, I think it would be if they sold it in an Apple store because it's mag. A lot of them are MagSafe for the Apple.
Look,
right?
we made a joke when the iPhone 15 Pro Max came out. Remember how they said we're going to shoot a movie, and they had these big rigs with the iPhone sitting in the middle.
We got black.
Xiaomi did the same damn thing in their
Yes.
live stream. They made this video, and it was shot with the phone, but it was in like a huge rig. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, of course it is. That was the video that got us in trouble with Apple.
Yes, it was.
Back in the day. Thanks, Apple, for that. We love you.
Darren, do you want to import this?
So you and I talked about this. I know you've pre-ordered, Jason. So I know 100% you've pre-ordered. So for me, the cost of importing this is $2,400 Canadian.
Damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
haven't you gonna get two?
Yeah, I did. So I sold both my kidneys and half of one liver. So I probably got about 6 hours to live, but I might get it at some point.
You won't get it in time before you pass, but hey, at least
The
you get
only
used to
the only
it.
thing I'll say about this, my only comment would be is the Lumia 1020 did this 11 years
Yes.
ago.
You're right.
Yes, they did.
11.
But no
Go
one's
look it
done
up.
it since.
Go look it up. There's a thing.
Last week,
And
we
yeah,
talked
and
about it.
that's that camera was amazing, and that was 11 years ago. So let's this isn't a new thing. And but yeah, if you were one of those people that had the case that went with it, would have the same kind of setup exactly, and it was that camera was stupid. That
Well, let me explain why I ordered this phone. So I had the 14 Ultra and the Vivo X100 Pro, and they were both neck and neck. I went back and forth, back and forth. I actually sold a couple phones, so I had the money for it. My kid doesn't have to eat. No, but so through Xiaomi's website, so I'm going to have it shipped through a third party shipper and all that. You pre-order, you get a tablet for free, which it's the 7 Pro. I think it's got an 8 Gen 3. You get a charger, and then for 99 cents or $1, you get the camera, this camera grip in case. So all in all, I think in the US, the total price would be around $1,400-ish, depending on how the market is. But to import it, you have to have a third-party shipper, which is going to add to the shipping cost because they're going to ship it to that person and they got to ship it to you, which is another $60, $80 to whatever $100 it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can get it like Amazon. You can probably go on Me for Canada or, get whatever.
Places, yeah.
But I think the pre-order stuff is what got me because the tablet's worth about $400 to $500. It's decent, so you could probably get that out of it. And then, I don't care about the charger. And then with the 2 phones I sold, I bought it. But the cameras on the 14 Ultra were the zoom.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't use the grip all the time, but when I was in a situation like a daughter's recital, I knew for a fact that grip would help me for zooming. But the zoom on this phone is by far, at least the 14 was by far the best zoom of any phone I've ever used ever. The Vivo is so good though. I was just telling Darren beforehand, since I've had this kid, I've used the S25 Ultra and the X200 Pro side by side and done like a 10x zoom, and there's no competition.
I'm going to be honest with you, and I said this to you, Jason, earlier today. the S25 Ultra is so good as a device. It really is. It's got a beautiful screen, a great processor, all of that. But the fucking cameras let it down.
What?
Like, you can't.
Yeah, the
beat
S25.
that.
Yeah,
Like,
they need to make some. It's not terrible. Here's a problem though. In the U.S., just like the iPhone, people get comfortable with it, and they in a vacuum. If that's the only phone you have, it looks amazing.
Yeah, of
I always
course.
make, I always make the comparison when you go to Best Buy or any electronics store and you look at big screen TVs, you're going to see a difference. But if you go at Black Friday and buy a $200 65-inch TV and take it home, it's going to look amazing because you don't have.
You're going to be happy.
Yeah. So I think to me, we had the privilege to use multiple phones so we can see it. But that's why people who use iPhones don't care if this is the best camera phone ever because they don't care. They're going to use the iPhone. But for me, being able to compare all of them, I can make a more informed choice for myself. So Xiaomi software and being able to import it to the US and using it on certain carriers, the only carrier you can use this on, I'll guarantee it 100% is going to be T-Mobile. Google Fi, Mint, anything that uses T-Mobile services. AT&T is going to lock you out. Verizon, good luck, So and Verizon's a big carrier. I mean, T-Mobile is getting better, but that's the only people you're going to be able to use it for. And if there's satellite connectivity, you're probably not going to have that availability here in the US, but the cameras for me with kids is going to be a big plus for me.
I mean, look, I think I have never bought a Xiaomi device.
Xiaomi is
in my life. I bought a
Same here.
Same here. I think off Facebook Marketplace. I had I want to say the 13 Pro. Yeah,
Xiaomi.
Well, Poco. Yeah,
it hasn't been opened yet, but...
part of the Xiaomi world. But I mean, for me, I always say, like, for me, a big priority is camera.
Yep.
I might consider importing it, but again, something's gonna have to go. So the way that I buy my tech, if I'm not getting it for review, I'll buy it myself. That's how it is. But if I don't believe in owning 1,000 different phones, because if I don't use it, what's the point of keeping it?
Exactly.
So I think if I had bought the S25 Ultra at the Canadian full retail price, which I think is about $2,000 for the 256 gig version, I would have punched myself in the dick and returned that thing before then. Because
that's very symbolic.
Now, I will say, with a trade-in, I got my Ultra for $600.
Well, here, Darren. So if you had the S25 Ultra for 2,000 in Canadian whatever, and then this for 2,500, 2,400, and you had the money, would you shoot for the Xiaomi not knowing the software? Because Xiaomi software is very Apple-esque.
Yes, I get that. I would absolutely go for the Xiaomi because I know, just given the nature now of the S25 Ultra, again, it's an amazing device. Please don't get me wrong, and I love to use it. But when it comes to the camera, it is a bit of a letdown coming from the Vivo, or even the OnePlus 13 was better. And I know that sounds crazy, but a lot of people believe that. Like, it's a common thing that you're hearing in a lot of.
Yeah, I've seen a few people saying that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
the other thing I've noticed with the Xiaomi is it's the first company to use Qualcomm's Wi-Fi hi-fi audio.
Yes.
And
I'll pull that.
I was watching the live stream, but I was kind of busy with a newborn, so I was kind of in and out. And I started hearing about this. I'm like, who cares? There's nothing that supports it anyways. When I was talking to Darren later on after I pre-ordered the phone, and these Xiaomi Buds 5 Pro actually are the first buds to support this Wi-Fi standard, I guess, that Qualcomm's saying. So it's like 96 kilobytes. And the problem is do we have streaming services that can support that high of quality of music? I'm going to guess Tidal and Apple Music may be the only ones, because I know YouTube Music does not support hi-fi. But either way, so I had to go back to the board and get a pair of these two, because I think the 15 Ultra, Devin's laughing, the 15 Ultra is the only phone that supports this as of right now. And these are the only, I guess, hardware that supports it as well, that on the audio side. So it's a lot of firsts. I think the only thing I didn't like about the live stream, if anybody here watched it, was they had someone from Android come out and talk about Gemini. We know what Gemini is. We don't care. Nothing's changed. Someone come up from Qualcomm and talk about the same NPU, and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to know what the 15 and 15 Ultra are all about. And then I'm sitting next to my wife, who's feeding our newborn, and she doesn't give a shit about this. And they're talking about it feels so good in the hand. I'm like, oh my god, what am I watching? Like, like you are a big dork, like a loser. But the Devin, don't shake your head.
No, I get the same thing every day.
Yeah, every time.
day.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like the guy goes, "This is the best feeling phone in the world." Well, you work for Xiaomi. I'd hope you say that. Like, what would someone say if Apple came out and Tim was like, the iPhone 16e is a great device, but it could be better. Like, they're never going to do it, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But I'm actually really excited for this phone. I know it's a lot of money for a lot of people, and I probably don't need it. I had the extra cash sitting around. I'll give it a shot. We'll see what it is.
When's it ever been about need?
Yeah, exactly. Not in the world of tech. Not for us. Anyway.
Shh, just in case someone's watching, it's definitely important.
Could we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week. Can we quickly touch on the Oppo Find N5 really quickly? So this is the other phone that has been talked about a lot in the past week. Since we did our last show, did we even talk about this on the last show, Jason? I don't remember.
We mentioned it with Michelle a little bit.
Okay.
But
so right now we're kind of spoiled for choice in the world of Android because we have this amazing slab camera phone and we have this amazing folding phone. And so I've been using it for a little bit, the Find N5.
So you have the Find N5.
So I have it just here, and I got it right here in my hand. Right?
Nice.
Fuck, I think you can see that right there. I want to just give you some context on how thin this fucking thing is, because I can't even, I want to hold this up.
Look how thin, it just looks thin right there.
I don't know if you can see. It has a case on the one side, but if you look on this
Too
side,
thin, I can't see it.
Right there,
it disappeared.
Yeah, my question is it too thin?
Yeah, there's some.
Okay, so I want to answer that, Devin, because it's funny that you say that. So I have criticized foldable companies before for making things difficult to open, and I'll give you an example. OG Pixel Fold was a fucking pain in the ass to open. Curved edges, it's literally impossible. I feared when I got this device that it would be difficult to do so as well, but it has flat edges, which means you can actually grip it pretty easily, and what do you know, it opens up. I was worried about that, I'll be honest with you, because I couldn't stand the OG Pixel Fold for that reason. I kind of fucking couldn't open it unless you had a case on it. It is really thin, but comparatively. So here is it. I'll see if we can do this live. So side by side with
make the cameras bigger so that we can see it.
Fuck. Oh, hang on. Yeah,
that's
a good idea. Hang on.
Context. My Pixel Fold, the original, I had never had trouble opening it, so it must be a Darren thing.
I don't even know how to fucking do that. I just totally broke out.
You just took all of us off the screen.
I don't know what's happening. Hang on. No, that's not. Hang on.
What the hell are you doing?
I don't know.
Hey, I don't have the phones. Look.
Anyway, but just comparatively, I don't know if you can see that. That's side by side with the Vivo.
There.
Oh, there we go. So
you're welcome.
Side by side,
you're welcome.
Oh gosh.
Wait. Wow. Hold them next to each other.
I'm trying to balance it out.
I mean, basically, it's folded as 9. It's folded 9 millimeters. That's what it is. It's folded. It's 9 millimeters.
That's crazy, though. It is crazy thin, but physically, you can't get. That's what we talked about. You can't get any thinner than the USB port. You can't. Or the
the USB port is the width of the actual frame.
Yeah, and what'll happen is on the Duo, it'll crack.
Well, I mean, this is. I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I think titanium, maybe around the outside. I'm hoping it doesn't fucking crack. But that was the problem with the Duo, is that it was plastic coating around the outside.
So Darren, what's your overall thought of the phone? Now we know it's thin. We know that the construction is decent. Software, that's my big thing. When you have a phone that folds, you got to have good software too.
So I'll be honest with you. If you've used the OnePlus 13, then you'll feel right at home here. It is exactly the same.
Okay.
So it's fast, it's fluid. The cameras have the Hasselblad tuning, which arguably has the best colors I think I've seen this year out of a camera.
Tell Xiaomi.
I mean, so Xiaomi has Leica, right?
Yes, Leica.
Yeah,
Well,
Leica, yeah.
Leica lenses. I don't know if they have Leica tuning. Well, they do have Leica tuning. That's right.
They have some bits and bobs from Leica in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I know someone mentioned. I think someone mentioned in the chat about the Xiaomi. Sorry, not Xiaomi. The Vivo X200 Ultra and the controversy that came with that this week when someone posted a fake image of them collaborating between Zeiss and Fujifilm.
What? Oh my god!
Did you not see that, Jason?
I did not. I've been a little preoccupied, so I've been out of the loop a little bit, but I didn't see that at all.
I'll see if I can find it.
A lot of people got very excited.
Yes, they did. They got very
a partnership with Fujifilm? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the image here that started a riot on social media.
Fujifilm.
So someone edited in rather.
That looks so
Vivo X Zeiss X Fujifilm.
Vivo times Zeiss times Fuji. Well,
now,
Vivo does use Zeiss. I mean, that's what they have listed on the back, so that makes sense. But who the hell uses Fujifilm for anything?
But Fujifilm is another
do they make lenses or cameras anymore?
Lens, they did both.
I thought they just made film, like the actual physical film for cameras.
But could you?
No, they're massive in APS-C cameras, and their film simulations are amazing. So if you had them film simulations on your phone, it would be so good. So there's a lot of fanboys that would love Fuji on a phone, but I mean, this is so fake. Look at it.
But the person who posted this was really smart.
Yeah, 100%.
200 Ultra, which will not be a global release, so I'm out of it already.
Now, so I know there's a lot of smartphone talk here today. I apologize to our listeners if you're listening, waiting for other things. But can I just bring up one more thing? So, the slimmest, possibly the slimmest smartphone we're going to see.
I saw this. Yes.
Is not the Samsung, and it's not going to be the iPhone. It could very well be this brand. So the Techno Spark Slim is 5.75 millimeters thick. Now, to give you a context, that's the thickness of Jason's cock. No, just kidding. 5.75 millimeters thick is insanely thin. I don't even have a context for that. What is that? The size of a penny?
The question's why, though.
Again, my question is that too thin? What?
So we know that Apple and Samsung are releasing thin phones, right? The Air and the whatever. So Techno, I know, Darren, you weren't real familiar with them. They're not here in the U.S. at all. And from what I understood, they don't really work well here at all on any carrier. But they're more of maybe, Joe, you may be more familiar with them. I think they're more of an overseas company.
They're big in Africa, I think, from what I know.
But they're like a budget, mid-range kind of company. They make some very strange, I remember, I think MKBHD or Mr. Who's the Boss had one years ago based on an artist, and it would when you took it out in the sun, the back would change colors.
Yeah, it's quite cool.
Yeah, they had that. There was one with a gimbal camera in the middle. They have some really interesting things. I just don't think it's real popular here in the U.S. I told Taryn I reached out to the company and heard crickets. So
I think so. Thinness on a phone makes no sense. Right. That doesn't make any sense. Now, thinness on a foldable makes sense because what it's trying to do is it's trying to achieve essentially smartphone thickness, so you never have to open the phone. Which again, ask me, why did you buy a foldable to begin with? If it's so good to use as a phone, but you only use the foldable kind of once in a while like a stylus, then why bother buying a foldable? It's I don't understand the thing.
You're right.
I get it.
Yeah.
It's again, that's what on a foldable you want to try to get it to where it essentially mimics the size and the weight
of a regular
profile of a slab foam, because but it doesn't overachieve the durability problem. It does achieve the thickness problem. But again, why? I don't understand what this does.
I don't get it either. Yeah,
you know why?
I don't understand why they're trying to push it.
Samsung pushes foldables, but a lot of Android developers followed suit. Apple still has yet to follow that. But as soon as Apple says, "Hey, we're going to make a really thin device," and there's rumors, everyone and their mom starts making them. So Samsung's got what they call they didn't release yet. We got this. I hate to say it, Apple's a trendsetter. I mean, we've seen, and I'm not saying that Android doesn't start trends. Apple just intelligently refines it and puts it in there. But I
And-
think it's
And
what
I get
is.
it, but Apple users, I've never heard an Apple user go, God damn, using this phone sucks. It's so fucking thick. I can't stand it. Like nobody's ever said that in the history of phones ever.
You're right.
No
Nobody.
one's ever said that
Zero
to Jason
people.
either.
Well,
Right,
and the
exactly.
fear of the
Well,
phone.
I mean, he's got
The fear
3
of the
kids,
phone-
so clearly something's happening up there.
Right.
And,
Well, we're not
I'm just
talking about that.
saying. Right, but I mean, I didn't say. Have you ever heard just any kind of conversation between tech heads or just regular people going,
No.
you know, I love this iPhone, but man, if it would be like 2 millimeters thinner, this thing would be
Yeah.
baller. Nobody
haven't
is
heard
saying
that.
that.
We
Nobody's
haven't
saying
heard that, but what have we heard? I would love to have a better battery, and I would love to
Yeah.
have a better camera,
Mhm.
both of which require
Compromises.
More space.
I don't get it either.
And the thing, if you use a thin phone, they're not comfortable to carry. They're like you drop them easier. And then what's people's
Pen
funny is
case,
people,
pen
someone's
case.
going to throw a huge ass case on this damn thing and it ain't going to be thin anymore.
Yeah.
For me, I
Unless
think-
your battery tech improves to the point where you do have, like, you know,
Yeah.
we're talking about graphene or we're talking about really serious battery improvement
Yeah.
where you can get a thin phone. But again, then my question is if you get a battery that's kick ass, keep the same thickness, and now you can put a
Yeah.
10,000
Right.
That's exactly-
whatever
yeah.
that number is on
Yeah.
compared to a graphene. But now you've got a battery that lasts literally 3 or 4 days.
Well, in the terms that Darren would understand, I never found a problem with girth of a phone. You know,
You had to use the word girth, didn't you?
Girth.
You just did that on purpose. God love
hey,
it.
It's going to
we
add
like
moist
using
in there as well.
Well, there you go. Hell.
oh my god,
Now,
Like I
before
said,
we-
I think this is just to show that you have technological prowess, right?
Pro-
This is
yeah,
your-
exactly.
This is the tech version of a
Yeah.
flex. Like we could make a
Yeah.
phone that's sub 6 millimeters. Okay,
well,
but
there was
we
another
won't.
phone, Darren. I sent you a picture of. It was a tri flip phone. What was that company now?
Infinix.
Infinix.
Infinix, I see that.
Yeah, it's a concept. It's not like,
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, look at this thing. Like, why do we need that? Because we can. That's all it is. This is a concept, though. It's not going to come to fruition, but this would be the only way I'd buy a flip that folds, because a folding flip to me doesn't make sense because you have to keep it closed for the most part. I don't know.
This is different though. This is new technology.
Yes, right.
What does making a thinner phone do for innovation?
Nothing.
Okay, it's thinner. Because
Yeah.
what did you take away? That's not innovating. That's going backwards.
It's not about size,
Yep.
Devin. It's about how you use it.
Right.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
why can't you have
That didn't
size
come out right.
and use
Can
it
we have
when you
enough?
want
Can we
to?
have enough
Yeah.
innuendo?
Kevin's
in the show?
like,
It's
yep,
not
going
possible.
down.
It's not possible. That's
This
fine.
is a tech podcast, I promise. All right.
I can't wait to see the durability test on this phone because I think it's going to fail fucking spectacularly with a
won't ever come out.
trifold flipping device. Which
Look,
has, what,
Infinix
two
is not going to be.
endpoints?
Infinix is not going to be the company that released the trifold. If they do, it's going to be,
No.
like I said, concept. It's going to be Samsung, Xiaomi. Huawei is probably going to be the first to do it. But-
Yeah. Could we talk one real quick thing that caught my attention about sport actually this week? So,
Sports?
yeah, I know. You know that one thing
Sports.
that
No, he said sport.
sport in general.
Signal.
Um,
Singular.
so-
not-
Here in Canada, you may know we have this sport called hockey, which
Never heard
we
of
apparently are pretty good at. But I was reading an
Sometimes.
article today on 9 to 5 Max. So referees in the NHL have been using Apple Watches for to get accurate information on things like time in penalty for players that are being put in penalties, time remaining on like certain plays and shots. And so basically they're using the Apple Watch, and they have some proprietary software on the Apple Watch using, I think it's called the Comms app, which allows them to get this real in-game situational notifications while they're refereeing the NHL game. So instead of it just being, based on, I guess, discussions with the other refs on the ice, or it may be whatever they're hearing through an earpiece or however they communicate, they're using technology to mitigate any kind of issues they may have with, time and penalties and stuff of that nature. And I thought that was kind of an interesting application for the Apple Watch. Is this going to be something we see more of in professional sports, using smartwatch and tech to make sure that games are being played properly? Sam, do you think this is going to take off?
Does anybody play hockey here? Does anybody play hockey in this game?
Wasn't there a big
refs
American?
Refs don't manage the fucking penalty box. There's like there's a dude. It's 2 minutes, man. The refs don't know. Here's the thing, and we have a low tech way. Watch an NHL game. Do yourself a favor. If you're in person, you'll know when a penalty's ending. Because the goalie is going to take his stick and he's going to smack it on the fucking ice 5 seconds.
I know.
You don't need a ref for that. Refs don't give a shit when guys clear the box. They could care less about it. They have a dedicated human who does that. The dude in the box knows when to open the door. He's just like, 2 minutes, open the door, right?
Sam, it's being used in Jason's hometown for the first time. So
it's Ohio. They hockey.
Hey, we had the Blue Jackets, the Columbus Blue Jackets.
And
Come on,
they're pretty good.
And there is a big hockey game going on at the House Stadium.
See this in I can see this in baseball because there's a pitch clock, right? So there's a time to kind of keep. Maybe the umps know, but now they've got they can touch their head and challenge strikes, so that's going to slow the game down. Anyway, I guess in hockey it doesn't make sense with penalties just because there's already a timekeeping mechanism.
What if it was for a video replay and they could watch it on their watch?
That's sure, because that's the way they need to see it. Like on the last watch, right? And go, I can't see the puck.
Humane. They need the humane.
They got the video. They got the.
This is what I was going to talk about. Put the hood. Do you guys know about VAR with football, soccer? You guys call it.
What is it?
The video assistant ref. Right.
Oh, yes.
I've not heard about
third
that.
umpire. Yeah, in cricket. Yes.
Well, they have it in football, soccer, whatever you want to call it, and it's really poorly implemented in the Premiership. Like, it's meant to take away things being subjective.
Yeah.
And if anything, it's just worse. It's like, oh my god.
Well, I guess for timekeeping, this would be okay, but not for regular. And MLB's got the thing now where they can touch their head and they can review the third strike, right? And they actually have the square in it. Okay, that sucks. I get sometimes in sport there has to be that subjective. You guys, you see they miss calls, right? It's like it just really sucks with the flow of the game, and it really it's like eventually at some point you're gonna have no refs at all. You have no umpires.
And that's what I was gonna get to, Sam.
It sucks.
Tech in sport needs to not disrupt the flow; it needs to help the flow.
Yes.
And that's always the issue with tech in sport.
It's tough because in sports, like here in the U.S., NFL's king, and when with the Super Bowl coming up in the playoffs, they was all about how Patrick Mahomes was flopping and flipping, and every time you touched him, you got 15. Does it really help? People are going to complain no matter what you're using.
It doesn't matter what tech you have.
And we also know if they're not using an Apple Watch, then it's bullcrap.
Better if he was on a Galaxy Watch, that would be or actually one of the my little Xiaomi. Yeah, you got to use this.
I hate to say this.
How about
Samsung would sponsor?
Although Samsung Watch, it would lose battery.
Well, I think the NFL uses what they use the Microsoft tablets.
Yeah, the Surfaces.
And they don't make a watch anymore. So it'd have to be Samsung. It wouldn't be Apple.
I think it should be the OnePlus Watch 3 with its typo and all.
No.
That's what I think it needs to be.
You think Garmin would be getting involved? Garmin
would be good.
Fitbit.
Garmin. Yeah. A Fitbit.
The problem with Fitbit, who the hell owns them?
Fitbit will use it for women's
sport. NHL, apparently.
Yeah. So anyway, tech and sports, it is a thing. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be a smartwatch thing anytime soon. Let's hope not. Last thing we need is the battery to die after 12 hours of use, or 8 hours, 6 hours of use, and then the refs not know what the fuck they're doing. So
how many sporting events do you know last 6 to 8 hours?
Cricket lasts long.
Cricket.
Oh, does it?
Cricket goes for like 48 hours.
Can I be honest? I can only speak for myself. I've never watched a cricket game in my entire life.
It's fun.
So. Yeah, it actually is fun.
If somebody doesn't explain to you what's going on, it's like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, you just.
If somebody sits down and actually explains what the overs are and kind of what's going on, it's kind of cool. I like cricket. I think it's kind of fun watching it.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. In Australia, it's just a reason to drink a lot of beer, and I mean a lot of beer.
Isn't that sports in general? Isn't that sports in general?
Yeah. But see, here's the thing: when you're at a cricket match, you're there all day.
You just drink and drink and drink. It's like there is no end. But
then you call the Uber protection
That's
service
exactly right.
to take you
And
home.
hopefully I get in the right car this time.
Another drink
But
with you.
anyway-
And then
Yeah.
There you go.
Anyway, on that note, that actually brings us to the end of today's show. Big thanks to Jason, Devin, Sam, Joe. We had a full house here today. We love having
Yes.
all our guests join us for a show. It always makes it an interesting discourse, if you will. We will be back next Sunday, 4 p.m. EST, and you can catch us live on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, Amazon Music, everywhere you find great and amazing podcasts. And be sure to check out these two lovely gentlemen, Sam and Joe from the Nomad Tech Project. They are on just before us on Sunday. So if you want all of your Sunday afternoon to be filled with amazing content, here and there is where you go.
Start at hour 2 because the first hour's not that good. It's not that good. Just put it out there.
It's just Joe humming off tune. He's just
Right,
singing
it's
to
me
himself.
dropping a healthy F-bomb. Today I had a pretty good rant. So it was, so if you want good content, start on at like hour 2, like hour 104. Start that shit. Watch this. Just watch this.
Exactly.
It's better. It's much
But
better.
yeah, check us out, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.